Don't worry about me, I'ma be alright. Got G-O-D all over my life.
Hey, fearfully, wonderfully made family. I am out doing my gigs, DoorDash and Instacart, depending on which one is going to be doing the most dinging today. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things. One was the pros and the cons of delivering as a Dasher versus an Instacart. Now, I'm going to start with DoorDash first because that's the obvious, right? There are some plus sides. The plus size is that you get paid right away. They'll give you an extra stipend, according to the minimum wage laws that are out here in California. But the bad part about it is they do not give their drivers enough time to deliver the item. They don't equate for traffic. They don't equate for the fact that maybe you have to park maybe a block or two away to get to the place. They do not consider any of this. And yesterday I did an order. Now, mind you, when I got there, I told them that the order was not ready, and there was a line. So I went to a food bank, and basically there was one guy there, and he had like maybe 5 other people ahead of me. And so he was doing all the work himself. So he had to put everything in the bag. This stuff was not prepared, y'all. Okay. So essentially that put me behind. So I'm waiting there. Maybe I want to think about, it had to be 20 to 30 minutes. And what I asked the guy was, I said, are you here by yourself? He was like, yeah. I said, okay. So, what am I going to do? I have to be patient and wait my turn, right? And then not only that, after that, GPS was taking me away to get to the place where there was traffic. Y'all, when I tell you that it was heck of traffic, I had to literally turn around and go the other way. And then when I went around and turned the other way, there was traffic going that way, so I had to go another route. So essentially, I get there. But when I get there, there were other Dashers that were there. And they were dropping off the packages from the Marine Bank. Apparently, there is a Asian community where they order from the food bank. And so the other problem came up when they didn't know which Dasher had which apartment. So I have 4. I have 4 apartments. And so I had to wait in line to talk to them because I'm thinking I could just go in and deliver it and that was going to be it. No. Mm-mm. I went in and the sweet little Asian ladies, they were like, what apartments do you have? So they came outside. I got the bags and brought them in. They had their little cart and I put it in the cart. And then they were saying, well, what number, what apartment is this? And then they were trying to figure things out. And I had to tell them what apartment numbers I had. And that was a whole nother something. So I did not get to mark off delivered yet because we're still going through this process of whatever confusion there's going on. And so here's the thing. I'm thinking that DoorDash was okay with it. They gonna mark me as late. I tried to dispute it. They say, no, you can't dispute it. The crazy part is they're not allowing you to dispute this stuff as if they are sabotaging you in some type of way. I don't know if they are or they're not. I'm not saying that, but I think it's very weird. And I think it's really not gratuitous for them to not give their Dashers enough time to get to these spots, not taking into consideration that sometimes things are happening that are beyond our control, right? It's crazy to me. It makes no sense. So, I don't know what DoorDash is thinking in that regards. And it seems like they don't want you to have a lot of, complaints. But here's the other fact about it. That might be the reason why they are trying to go driverless, meaning that there are no drivers. because they do have a pilot program where, and you can check it out for yourself. I'm not saying anything that nobody else has not said. You can check it out that they are trying to get into getting where there are robots that essentially are delivering your items. And if I can go back and look at the video that I saw it from, I'll link it. And yeah, and if I don't link it in the description, I definitely will link it inside of the chat. I got an order from Instacart right now. I'm going to see whether it's good or not. And it's 11.7 miles. And so usually if it's 11.7 miles, nope, I don't take it, because that means it's crossed the bridge or San Leandro or some other way. And that was real time, guys, that I got that offer. So I wanted to respond in real time. So, and I've only been sitting out here for about like 10 minutes and I got that offer, which is not bad. So essentially, let's skip over to Instacart. The great thing about Instacart is that they have plenty of offers. They really do. It's just the ones that are farthest away that I'm just not interested in taking. I'm not interested in doing 8 or 10 miles or 11 miles because they only pay you a certain amount. No, I'm not interested in that. You know, I've had some great ones within a mile and 7 miles. That's my limitation. You know, that's basically the South San Francisco area, downtown area, or, you know, Daly City area. You know, I'm fine. And even, you know, I may be willing to go to Burlingame, but no, not really. Simply because, you know, it's a lot of traffic and stuff like that. And there's enough around the area where I could stay around the area. But I do like the fact that they seem to give you a little bit more time to deliver things. And maybe that's because we're doing more of a personal shopping thing, whereas we're just picking up things from DoorDash. But DoorDash doesn't consider sometimes the things we're supposed to pick up ain't ready. And then they holler about, oh, we got your bag. Do you? I don't think you do. But anyway, nevertheless. And then the other thing I love about Instacart is that you don't have to decline. You decline just by not accepting it. That's your decline. You don't have to do a decline. And I don't think they're holding any decline rates against you. I know what they do hold against you is if you unassign a batch. Like last week, I had the first time in my life unassign a batch because I could not get any parking downtown to go to a Target, which I think is so stupid. But anyway, in the scheme of things, downtown essentially does not want to have cars down there. They want to be a New York, where, you know, New York doesn't do a lot of cars and they don't want a lot of cars. It's mostly transportation and bus and all that stuff. So they want to leave the downtown area to, you know, bike riding, you know, zip cars and stuff like that, zip, you know, bikes and all that stuff. Anyway, but that's one of the good things that I do like about Instacart. I like the fact that they do have more orders. They do pay a little bit more money. Depending on what it is, they do pay a little bit more money. And I understand why they would, because, you know, we are a personal shopping place, right? That's what we are essentially. So anyhow, the cons of it. I think the cons are the tipping. I would just say that people, they tip, but they're kind of stingy, just like all the other apps. I think that would be the worst thing at this point that I can say about Instacart. You know, Instacart is all about you just getting the groceries to the people, that you find good replacements, you know. And the other thing, what I love about it is that if you go to the store and they don't have anything that the person has, they will still pay you for going to the store. That's what I do like about Instacart. So those are my pros and cons about Dasher and Instacart. I mean, you have to choose. I know somebody told me to try out Spark. Spark ain't getting down with me for whatever reason. I don't know, but it is what it is. So I work with the apps that I am allowed to be on at this point. Grubhub, I don't know what's going on with Grubhub. They just can't seem to find out why I can't get in. And then Uber Eats just can't seem to figure out my identity, which is crazy. But anywho, other than that, so I'm just sitting out here waiting for more orders. And as I'm out here, I'm also working on my music channel, y'all. I do have a music channel. It's called In the Key of Kesa. And I'm over there just having a good old-fashioned listening party. I don't know about y'all, but I love to sit in the car and just listen to music, especially like on days like this. I would also, y'all, after I get off a hard day's of work, I would just sit in the car for like 30 to 40 minutes and just listen to music. Whether it was mostly gospel, but sometimes I listen to R&B and jazz music, sometimes classical, 1950s, that type of thing, just vibing out. And I don't have no earrings on today, y'all, because I normally promote my own stuff that I make. But today, I wasn't really in the mood to be putting on no earrings. I need to go and grab me some water. That's exactly what I need to do. I should have stopped at the store and got some water. And, other than that, y'all, that's all I got to say. Those were some of the things I wanted to talk to you all about, and I'll be back in another episode. See ya.
Don't worry about me, I'ma be alright. Got G.O.D. all over my life. Don't worry where I've been, what I did, how I came up. Everything was a sin until they changed. Don't worry about me.